Welcome back into the studio, and today I'm going to work in this Dina Wakley Blue Edition journal. I've learned with working in this that the easiest way to deal with this blue jean page, if you're not necessarily wanting to use blues, is to bring it back to neutral. So I'm going to go ahead and gesso these pages up. This is watercolor paper, but today I am going to gesso it up. Primarily in my regular way to handle this is to not be precise. So maybe heavy in some areas and light in others, so that I can see how the paint or whatever I throw at it absorbs. So that's where I'm going to get started with today. And today we are going to be playing with these two ArtFoamies. This is a brand new one to me, and I've been so excited to work with it. It's these prickly circles, and this circular shape, I thought this swirl mini, which is a love of mine. I use this a lot. It is an awesome circular, and I thought it would go well with this. We'll see if I end up using it or not, but that is the plan so far. So let's get started. I am working in this Dina Wakley Ranger Blue Edition mixed media art journal, and it has these pages that are blue jean and then the really thick watercolor paper. And what I'm doing is I'm adding some gesso to both sides, trying to just kind of bring it back to neutral because I'm not quite sure what colors I want to use. Also, that jean material is a lot easier to use when it's stiffer, so I like to either cover it with gesso or do some collage on it and get it to stiffen up a little bit. It seems to make it easier to work with. And then from there, I'm just going in with some tissue. These are pattern tissue paper. I really like the bold lines in it, and I'm just collaging that down using some fluid matte medium, and then going in with some of my homemade glass bead gel, which I will link up top for you on how to make that. And I try to always add some medium that's a texture medium to my work, and I did do that here. I like to play off of it. So now that that is good and dry, I am thinking I'm going to come in with this ArtFoamies. And so I'm just rolling out some acrylic paint onto a 3x5 gel plate, and then applying that paint with a brayer to the foam stamp, and getting that randomly kind of placed down and around this movement of tissue paper that's going from left to right across the layout. And I'm going in, this acrylic paint is Payne's Gray. Now I'm going to get that dried well, because I'm coming in with these gel sticks. These are mixed media gel sticks, and I'm really going over the areas that have the glass bead gel with this yellow really heavily. Now, something I've just recently discovered is the color that is made between this teal and this yellow. So I've chosen to go in with these two to see how they blend. And I'm gonna blend these out using a round brush and some white gesso. You'll see I am going to also come in here with a spritz bottle full of water and thin that down so I can get some transparency in specific areas. But this color that these two colors mixed together make is just scrumptious. Something that really catches my attention right here is on the right hand side of the layout, in the watercolor paper area that's white just above the tissue, there is thin areas of gesso, the original gesso I put down. So that paper has soaked that color up and made this incredible feature. And I just really like how that effect comes about, the way it looks. So another thing I'm doing is coming in with some of that same yellow. I believe that's a cadmium medium hue yellow. But I have all the description, all the items I've used are listed down below. And I'm coming in and really highlighting some areas, those circular areas of this wonderful cat cur art foamy. And then doing a little bit of semi-dry brushing with my finger, just moving some of that color in the background, more of a bokeh look to it. And now I'm going to do some dry brushing with my finger over the glass bead gel using the Payne's Gray. This is one of my favorite techniques to really bring out all that texture that has been in the layers below. And now to come in and do some highlighting with some white gesso, just to give some light areas and it's a push and pull kind of effect. I want your eye to be drawn to the darker areas, but also have resting space where some of the lighter areas are. Also push back some of that bold art foamy stamping that went on, so that you're just concentrating on flowing from the left to the right of the page, along with the tissue paper in the background layers. At this point, I really think I'm finished. I've selected a quote that I want to use for this, as well as a vintage photo. So I'm going in for this quote and I'm building that up so it pops off the page a bit. And I'm just using some Yes paste on some pieces of cardboard to get that adhered to the page. And I've selected this vintage photo. This photo was in an ephemera pack that I got from Ricky Tikki Tavi, otherwise known on Etsy as the Bricolage Factory. And I'll have all that listed down below. But I wasn't quite finished because the paper I had printed the quote on had more orange in it. And so I felt like I needed to come in and bring that into the background in some way. So I've pulled out my cadmium orange, and I'm just going to tone it down a little bit with some of that cadmium yellow. And I'm going to use this in areas just to create a pop of that orange color within the layout, so it kind of like ties in with that paper of the quote. So as I'm getting that dried, I am recognizing that I really need to frame this in a little bit. My thinking was this was kind of mimicking that vintage photo. It's kind of like a lazy man's river. You're just floating down the river, and I just felt like, the brush all around it coming in and framing your pathway. And that's really what I kept thinking as I was adding that orange and getting it dried. So I decided to come in with some distress archival ink and peeled paint and just give a nice border around it. Thank you for watching this video. If you are new to my channel and have liked what you have seen here, wouldn't you consider becoming a subscriber? As always, I have listed down below in the description box a list of all the products that I've used. Sometimes there will be links involved with those. Some of those are listed to items in my Etsy store or possibly an affiliate link. I only link to products that I've used, tested, or prefer to use. So I may receive a very small compensation when you use those affiliate links, but there is never ever any additional cost to you. And that just really helps me to keep supplies on my art table and my channel content coming.